Councillors, can I have your attention, please? I welcome you all to this meeting of the Cardinia Shire Council and declare the meeting open. This meeting will be conducted in accordance with the Council's governance rules. It is important that members of the public present in the gallery respect the setting and do not disrupt the meeting, particularly during debate and discussion by councillors on items in the agenda, and in particular, do not interject during the debate. We will commence the meeting with the following reflection. I would ask those gathered to join us now for a few moments of silence as we reflect on our roles in this chamber. Please use this opportunity for reflection, prayer or thought to focus on our shared intention to work respectfully together for the well-being of our whole community. Thank you. The Cardinia Shire Council respectfully acknowledges that we are on the traditional land of the Bunurong and Wurundjeri people and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. And we have no apologies tonight. It's great to have everyone on board. Can I have a motion, please, to adopt the minutes of the previous meetings as listed? Councillor Moore and a seconder, Councillor Ryan, thank you. All those in favour? I declare that carried unanimously. Councillors, are there any declarations of interest on tonight's agenda items? Thank you. I see none. The items on today's agenda are as follows. Item 6.2.1, discontinuance of commenced and previously declared special charge schemes, Sealing the Hills. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Springfield.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the officer's recommendation as listed.
Thank you. Can I please call for a seconder? Councillor Owen. Thank you. I'll go back to Councillor Springfield to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. This one, it's a difficult motion here, just because it sort of brings up an old wound, and unfortunately, this is the discontinuance of the commenced and previously declared special charge schemes for Sealing of the Hills, and this is the list of all the different roads packages which we had undertaken the preliminary works, which we had announced a special charge scheme for, which we had done a number of work towards that, but they had not continued to the point where we could deliver that project when the funding was cut for them. So, this is a process that we have to undertake, because we had previously announced the special charge scheme was going to be implemented for these packages, but unfortunately, and we've spoken about this a lot at this council, so the residents are all well aware of this by this point in time, but unfortunately that's no longer proceeding. So this is part of the procedure and the legal sort of procedure we need to do as council, just to officially tie that off to say that at this point in time, the special charge schemes are no longer progressing for these roads. And look, it is unfortunate. Look, good news story, we have delivered $41 million worth, which they're either in the works or will be delivered in the next 2 years, which is a positive story out of it. But unfortunately, I look at this list of roads and I see some of these roads across the hills, across the Beacons Hills ward as well, across the Bunyip ward, there's some that touch in there. It's unfortunate, because it was really going to make a world of difference to see a lot of these packages done. But today is the point before us is anyway this procedure, just to announce and accept the discontinuance of these schemes, and so they are listed within the report. But I'll leave it there. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. I'll go to the seconder, Councillor Owen, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Springfield. Yeah, it is extremely disappointing that we get to this stage that we're noting the discontinuance. I just want to thank obviously the officers involved in this massive and thorough process. It's not a small process to go through these special charge schemes, number of stages, advertising, community engagement. So it is extremely disappointing. Some of those schemes that is being discontinued because of that decision by the federal government is St George's Road in Halford Street, Upper Beaconsfield, Montuna Grove. There we saw 79% of residents willing to contribute to the road upgrade. So high percentage, high acceptance of it. The Stony Creek scheme part 2 was an interesting. 100% of people were willing to contribute to the scheme of $7,000 per benefit unit, and those are the streets of Lenny Street, Hook Place, and Southern Road in Upper Beaconsfield. And I attended a number of sessions that the community that council ran, and there was really high anticipation and acceptance of that special charge scheme. And dust is a real issue. The health concerns around dust was definitely something that they raised, and they welcome this scheme. And also, I received correspondence in the last couple of weeks regarding the Boyd Road, Ramage Lane, Ritchie Street, Red Road, and Williamson Road, Gembrook, only in the last few weeks, regarding a real disappointment of residents that this is not going to continue. So I just want to acknowledge there's been great cost to the taxpayer, and I know that's probably not the ratepayer, but to the taxpayer of federally that has gone through these roads that are not proceeding. So a lot of planning, design works, statutory costs, blah, blah, blah. So a great cost, and I've asked officers to really, give us a figure, give councillors a figure of how much, I suppose, taxpayers' dollars have sort of gone, wasted because we're not proceeding. So I just would like to know that figure, because it is something that's, should be noted. And I just, with great sadness that we moved this tonight. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Owen. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak? Councillor Ross, please.
Thank you, Mayor. It's really interesting when you look through the program here of the special charge schemes that will be discontinued. Comes to a total of $32.9 million. That's a huge amount of money for a council our size to even try and undertake making up the difference between what we would put in ourselves and what we would given from the different levels of government. It just really highlights with a budget around $110, $120 million that we have here on council, to have $32.9 million of extra roads that we have to discontinue is just almost impossible. We provide, over 120 services and all the projects we do and all the wages and everything that we need to. And then we have $32.9 million gap, shortfall now, that was there and now it's not. Anyway, it's been highlighted by Councillor Springfield and Councillor Owen that that there is $41 million being proceeded with, which is excellent, but still, for the people out there who thought they were going to get more, it's really sad for them, because they thought this was the opportunity to get something really done in a really big way, because we can only do so many special charged projects ourselves and budget every year. But this was a really, really big one that was going to leap us forward. Anyway, there's been a whole lot of work done there in the past. I'm sure it won't be totally wasted, because if they've done some engineering work and some different things in this area. And also too, it was really interesting when you read through the level interest. Quite often with these schemes, you don't have that level of interest, and sometimes they don't even get continued on. But to have such great support was really showing the absolute need for these to be done. Anyway, it's really sad we have to discontinue them, but nevertheless, you can only do what you can afford. And without the other levels of government supporting us on these really, really big projects, they just can't go ahead. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, councillors.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Any other councillors who would like to speak on this item? I see none, so I'll go back to the mover. Councillor Springfield, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to my fellow councillors for speaking to this item and raising some really good points. There was a lot of work done towards this Sealing the Hills roads package from council officers, from councillors, from the community, for all the engagement. Like you'd see this list of engagement within the report, very well received. I believe 71% seems like the lowest figure that's listed here. We've got 89%, 88%, 94%, and 100% for different catchments of the support that was felt within the communities to proceed with co-contributing to a road being delivered. Look, I'm hopeful. I know that our council officers are going to be driving this hard. We have ever since this announcement was made, trying to see alternative avenues for funding to deliver sealed roads within our unsealed road network, because unfortunately it is predominantly in the northern end of our shire, but we do have a lot of historical unsealed roads, and without some big funding boosts like this from the federal or state government, it is something that the council can't deliver on its very own. But you know, the amount of benefit that would be delivered for the communities up there that live on these roads, it is, you know, it's monumental. So I do again applaud the $41 million worth of roads which we are delivering for Cardinia Shire. And my heartfelt sentiment goes out to all those residents on the roads that are listed here, which we have to officially announce the discontinuance of the special charge scheme which we had undertaken for them. And I really thank them all for their input. And I do encourage them, look, we're going to be pushing for this in the future. We've done a body of work here, preliminary planning for a lot of areas. That work's sitting on the shelf, and we will continue to ask for funding to try and have some of these roads reinstated. And hopefully we can see that happen in the future. But thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried unanimously. Item 6.2.2, Mulcahy Road, Pakenham, road closure. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Davies?
Thank you, Mayor. I move the council officer recommendations as per the report.
Thank you. Can I please call for a seconder? Councillor Kowaczyk. I'll go back to the mover, Councillor Davies, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Kowaczyk, for seconding. Tonight I am seeking council to support me in endorsing that council resolves to acknowledge that the consultation process has been undertaken to propose regarding the proposed Mulcahy Road closure, and that we will be resolving to proceed to close Mulcahy Road between Thurles Road and Merritt Street in accordance with the Local Government Act, and that council also is resolving to proceed in accordance with the Clause 3 of Schedule 10 of the Local Government Act to discontinue that section of Mulcahy Road, which adjoins the Pakenham Cemetery. As a brief summary, it was at the September 2022 council meeting where council resolved to commence the process into closing this section of Mulcahy Road. The road's located on land owned by the Department of Environment, Land, Water and Planning, now called DECA, and this section abuts the Pakenham Cemetery. The closure is required and it is currently closed, but under the planning scheme, a designated unsignalised intersection treatment of a roundabout was proposed. And when this was investigated by the Shire's engineers, it was found that this road infrastructure would actually require land acquisition from the cemetery, and that would have a corresponding requirement to relocate graves, and for that reason it wasn't deemed a reasonable or achievable construction. And this was luckily also the Pakenham Cemetery has actually expressed interest in actually acquiring this proportion of the land. So council have reviewed in detail the considerations that have gone into this. The traffic impact assessment, which has shown that based on the indicative traffic volumes, the anticipated traffic volumes using this section can be redistributed on the surrounding road network, and this has been assessed based on a SIDRA analysis, and that future east-west through access can be provided north of the cemetery as part of the future developments via extending Frizzle Road. Bus routes and bus access, most importantly, will not be impacted, and consultation including letters and a community drop-in session has been held. Consultation with the Head of Transport Victoria, Telstra, South East Water, AusNet and Dulwip has all been acknowledged and supported, well, in the sense of having no objection to this permanent closure. So for this reason, I believe that council should propose, as listed per the officer's recommendations, to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. We'll go to the seconder. Councillor Kowaczyk, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Davies. I think you've provided an extensive summary of this item, but yeah, as you mentioned, this has been on the agenda for some time now. I think all councillors and many in the community will be aware of the brief and the reason behind this partial road closure. I think the item as it's listed in the report can be a little bit misleading. It is not the full closure of all of Mulcahy Road. It is just the very, very western end, but it's obviously been closed in a temporary nature for some time now. And it's just formalising that process. So I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers who would like to speak for or against? Councillor Owen.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Davies, for your extensive explanation of what's before us. I do note there was a drop-in session was held on the 2nd November 2022 at the Civic Centre to give residents and business owners the opportunity to discuss the proposed closure and ask questions. One resident attended this session and they had no concerns with the proposed road closures. So there has been no adverse submissions regarding what's proposed. Regarding the land, hopefully to be transferred to the Packham Cemetery, further discussions and investigations will be required for the Department of Health and Human Services into the exact size of the parcel land they are seeking to acquire. The use of the licensed surveyor and title search is also recommended in determining the exact dimensions of the parcel of land road reserve to be discontinued. So the width of the parcel of the land is yet to be established, but will depend on the slope of the land, underground services, existing trees and vegetation, amenity of the shared path, stormwater drainage and overland flow, and also the future upgrade of the Kenneth Thulis intersection. And I do think we all know that the Packham Cemetery, is running out of land, and I think this council's got a history of assisting the Packham Cemetery Trust in, providing additional land with unused road easements to the east of the cemetery. So that went through a process, and obviously that land was transferred to the Cemetery Trust. But I think this is a good outcome to help provide the Cemetery Trust with additional land with no adverse impacts of what an upgraded intersection with Thulis Road would have provided to the cemetery. So I think this is a good outcome. It shows that there was no adverse submissions to what council is proposing. So I think that will be a good outcome for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Owen. Any other councillors? Councillor Ryan, please.
Through you, Mayor. This is great information for our community, and thank you, Councillor Davies, for the information and reading out the important structure of the plan. I only wanted to add that, like Councillor Owen, that the Pakenham Cemetery had been struggling continually for extra land, as there's not much room there. There's the majority of it is taken up with grave sites now. And I think that this parcel of land, with the interest of Pakenham Cemetery, hopefully it will go through and they will have that extra land to service our community. And I think our community has been waiting a long time for the extra land. So I think that's a great outcome if this parcel goes through. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillors? Councillor Ross, please.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a really sensible decision to discontinue the that section of road. It would be extremely unfortunate and upsetting for people who have residents and family members in that cemetery. That would just be unspeakable for some people to think they'd be moving what they would have to. It's been thank you the other councillors for highlighting all the different shades of how it would impact and what this decision was going to do. I think it's a really sensible one. I think it just saves a whole lot of heartbreak for people, and as one of the councillors pointed out who goes to the cemetery on a regular basis, that it will extend more land in that place, which is sort of getting really tight at the moment, so that they don't have to have the urgency that they had in the past to look at what they were going to do getting crammed in. We'll give them a little bit more land, so therefore they've got more space to operate in. Anyway, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any other councillors? Councillor Moore, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to point out one other thing. This is to do with traffic management, of course, with the closure of this road. I would be unable to do an proper intersection there at Kenneth Road where it comes out of the officer estate there. So to get that exit, to get it around that distance, we need to close that road to give it that extra width to do a roundabout, unsignalled roundabout section of that road. So I think that's important to note. That it's to do with traffic movement is very important there as well. And the other points have been noted by my fellow councillors as well, particularly with the cemetery land acquisition. But I think to understand that it's to do with our traffic impact assessment that has brought this to light more than anything else to start with. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any other councillors like to speak for or against? I see none, so I'll go back to the mover. Councillor Davies, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, councillors. I move that per the council officer, per the recommendations made by council officers, that council endorses the agreed road closure. Thank you.
Thank you, councillors. We'll now put this to a vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 6.2.3, Officer District Park Construction Tender. Councillor Davies, I understand that you have a motion that differs to the officer's recommendation. Can you please move your motion?
Thank you, Mayor. I move that council awards contract 23-019 Officer District Park Construction Stage 1 to Warrendale Industries Proprietary Limited for the sum of $6,383,515.72 excluding GST, and to approve the use of any remaining project budget for contingency items under the contract should these arise during the course of the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I please call for a seconder to this alternate motion? Councillor Springfield. Thank you. I'll go back to the mover. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Springfield. Councillors, you'll note in the official recommendation, or the original recommendation as itemised tonight, that there is a slightly different price and a higher one than quoted. Based on review tonight, it was established that the correct price is $6,387,515.72 excluding GST, and the other amount included the value of contingency items. So for clarity, I have sought to amend the recommendation given tonight, and have undertaken a detailed review of confidential items as well as the officer report that's public tonight. I'm extremely excited about this project. I do talk about it a lot. This team has been incredibly resilient, and with COVID and infrastructure price changes, and then associated scope changes, and then added complexities due to the funding sourcing and having to apply to the state and then the feds and then get extensions and get minister stamps, all to get this across the line. They have proceeded. So it is with so much excitement and relief that I am seeking your support in the award of this contract. It is going to be an incredible asset to the whole of the Shire, and I look forward to opening it. I look forward to attending the opening too later next year, and hope construction goes a lot more smooth than the pre-construction has. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll now go to the seconder, Councillor Springfield, please.
Thank you, ma'am. It is wonderful to see awarding a tender for this project. It is a fantastic project that has been on the cards for some time in its preliminary stages for this council. So it is good to see it progress to this stage, noting there has been a few changes along the way over the last couple of years. But look, I also want to congratulate Warrendale Industries for their submission, their tender submission, which by all accounts in the tender evaluation process, has been deemed to be the most value and confident in their past performance of delivering this project. So once this project does get underway and is commenced. It'll be a wonderful asset for us to have up in here, not just for the residents of Officer, but I think for the community wide. Right in the hilltop that we drive past quite often, if you're coming along Princess Highway there, it's going to be a great site once these works are completed. So I do look forward to this commencing and getting underway. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any other councillors who would like to speak for or against? Thank you, Councillor Ross.
Thank you, Mayor. This again highlights the contributions from other areas of government. If you have a look, Cardinia Shire Council are providing roughly $4.6 million. You've got the state government through a Growing Suburbs Fund, $2.2 million, and the Australian Government Local Roads and Community Infrastructure Fund giving $435,000. Essentially, this is just to do stage one. That just shows if we had to find another $2.6 million, this project would be delayed longer, particularly under the really tight squeeze at the moment with councils, with the cost of everything going up. Anyway, it's a good news story. This project has been in the wind for quite a period of time now, and it's had so many variations to it, different stages, different things that were included and couldn't be afforded to be included. I'm really pleased to see it going ahead for the people who live there who have contributed to the contributions towards their input into it. At least getting stage one done is the beginning of getting something up there for them, and then we'll just see where it goes after that, how much money is needed for the different stages. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any other councillors? Councillor Owen, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, all councillors, for speaking before me. I just want to acknowledge Councillor Davies' advocacy on this project during her term. Definitely some of the great aspects of this district park is the regional level adventures play space, dog off-leash park, another addition to our off-leash dog parks in Cardinia, which is really good. Barbecue and picnic facilities, extensive walking fitness trails, fitness equipment stations, a public bathroom facilities, which is important for young families using this multi-use space, a hilltop lookout. And I understand this could be I think it is the highest point in the residential part of Officer. And I know that will be celebrated by the community, looking out, a car park and a broad landscape open space. So this is stage one, and I do note that the initial plans did have an element for mountain board riding, and mountain boarders have been a strong advocate to this council over probably 10 years. And, we saw this as a opportunity for to house our mountain boarders that has got a strong presence in our Shire. So, can I just say to those mountain boarders, unfortunately, you can't be accommodated in this stage one, but obviously the further stages down the track, as per the plans that we have for this wider district park, I will continue to advocate for mountain boarders in later stages. I appreciate their patience. They've waited a long time. As I said, over 10 years, many petitions to councils over the years. So please, I ask the mountain boarders to continue to engage with council. So hopefully we can deliver you a space within Cardinia Shire. But I support so. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Moore, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I certainly support this wonderful park. It's going to be a gem of the Office area. We'll be able to see it for miles away because it's on top of a mountain. And it's been well designed. And I was speaking to some more senior people the other day, and we talk about parks are generally for younger people, younger families, which is probably right. But these more senior people are looking forward to this. There's a retirement village that borders right on this park, and they're asking about whether there'll be a gateway. I was already spoken to Councillor Davies about this. A gate and access into this parkway, because there's the fitness equipment. And they've all got dogs in this area, so to have that off-leash area for their fur babies, I guess I could call them that, out of this retirement village, which is just fantastic to have. So they'll be excited to see this happening, and I'm excited to see this evolve after this such a long time to get this to this stage. And so stage one, it's going to be a fantastic result for our community. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any other councillors who would like to speak to this item? I see none, so we'll go back to the mover, Councillor Davies, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, councillors. I confirm that tonight, as per the alternate recommendations, I seek your vote to endorse the award of the contract. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now put this to